Welcome to Behind the Scenes, Project Management at Siemens. In this podcast series, you are not going to hear project management methodologies, processes, or guidelines, or not even projects in particular. You are going to hear stories, personal experiences, and journeys of people behind the scenes, project managers and commercial project managers within Siemens from all around the world. I'm Derya Iren. Welcome to Behind the Scenes, Project Management at Siemens. In this episode, our guest is Eelko Wapenaar. Welcome, Eelko. Thank you very much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, can we start with getting to know you? Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, sure. I'm Eelko Wapenaar, 39 years old. Graduated in 2008, Economics and Business at the Erasmus University. And a few weeks thereafter, I started my professional career at Siemens.
So you directly joined to Siemens?
Yeah, it was my first job, so to say. Yeah, at that time in an organization where we did small projects, but pretty soon it became clear to me that I wanted to develop myself in the role of a commercial project manager. By the way, that's abbreviated by CPM. It was pretty cool, and let's say that's why I took the opportunity to move later on to an organization where we had some bigger projects, also with an international character. And in 2018, I made the move to Energy Management Division, which is nowadays reorganized a bit. And in fact, this reorganization brought me to my current role, where we are focused on data center business. Mm-hmm. And since roughly half a year, not only in the role of a CPM, but also as being team lead of a group of CPMs.
Can you a little bit elaborate us the role of CPM?
The core of being a CPM is finance. The main task of a CPM is to present reliable planned and actual costs in a project, really reflecting the progress. And next to this actual situation, it's also important to have a focus on the forecast. Think about a reliable forecast of planned revenues as well as cash. But there is more. A CPM is really a spider in the web, so to say, and has to cooperate with many internal as well as external stakeholders. Mm-hmm. Internally, think about, for example, the project organization itself, project manager, engineering team, commissioning, probably procurement, legal, auditing teams, management, but also externally. We have lots of suppliers. And then, our most important stakeholder, of course, the customer.
Customers, yeah. So I remember from our previous talks, so you said that CPM has the role to bring the team to the contract. So can you a little bit talk about this?
Yeah, well, commercial project management starts with a handover from a sales team to an execution team. And at that period, it's pretty important that all team members realize what we actually have to deliver to our customers and what our obligations are. And I think it's really important for commercial to make sure that all the team members are aware of our obligations. What do we need to deliver? What can the customer expect from us? But also the other way around. What can we expect from our customer?
And how do you make sure that the project team follow the same mindset, taking care of the commercial topics as you did? So how do you bring them into the focus here?
I think this also starts with a proper handover or a proper project kickoff. And by the way, this is, in my view, not a task for the CPM alone. We, of course, can rely on the support of the project manager in this, but communication is key. I think at the start of a project, we need to draft a proper project management plan. The CPM has to bring in the major items which are relevant. For example, invoice milestones, plannings, maybe contractual risks. And if we have a proper internal communication plan within the team, we can, with a certain frequency, point our major contractual risks out with the team and make sure there is enough awareness.
And so to be able to do that, I assume that you are also going to sites, not only sitting in the office dealing with the numbers, but you're also at the site with the team and, bringing their focus onto these topics via being with them. So is it so, or you have other secrets or tips that you can share?
No, I think you're right. It's very important for a commercial project manager not to do the job, let's say, only behind your laptop. It really makes sense to show your face on site. And I think that also helps in relation building between team members. To me, in the role of CPM, it's important to receive from, for example, sites, our site manager, a proper overview of technical progress. And it's very useful for me if I know the colleagues in person and I can really see what they are doing. And it's also a matter about trust. And then that helps me in receiving appropriate information to be included in my financial analysis.
You are now also managing CPM, so besides your role hands-on in the projects. So when you are evaluating your colleagues, you also have the look now, what does it take to be a good commercial project manager? What do you expect from them?
I think it's a process, again, from start till closing. And I think it's really important if a PM and a CPM share the targets or the goals of a project. And these goals should be monitored during the complete execution phase. And the funny thing of project execution is that we will always have to deal with risks. And these can be a kind of threat on our targets, especially financially. And then it's very interesting for me to see how the colleagues mitigate these risks and deal with these situations. And I hope, and then that's at least my aim, because of many years of experience, I've seen lots of situations. I hope I can coach them a bit with this.
Can you maybe go back to your journey? Tell us about how this role helps you grow in your career or in your personal life. So what did your learnings out of this job, out of this role, let's say?
I think for a CPM, it's really important to continuously develop financial knowledge, but also skills and experience. For the financial part within Siemens, we have a really interesting certification program, and I can recommend everybody to participate in this. But the skills set, that's a different thing. That is something which needs to be developed by just doing. And looking back to last year's, I think I have a nice example, and that is related to change order management, which is in my view crucial for the financial success of project execution. And my growth point here is really that I learned that there are more ways to success in this. Probably because I'm Dutch, but I like the classical model where we have a kind of fixed contract, a related contract price. At a certain moment, there's a demand for new or additional requirements. Siemens to offer them, customer to avoid a change order, and we can continue with the works. But I've seen that it does not work always like this. And I learned to become a little bit more patient than maybe 15 years ago. And also there are cultural differences among customers. There can also be lots of planning pressures in a way that the process I just described simply does not fit in customer planning. And then an interesting job will start for the PM and CPM, because you need to be flexible in strategies. And coming back to the questions of grow, I think it's important to understand the major stakeholders, our customer, and to adapt a strategy if needed.
We all know that, of course, commercial topics also they're related with financials, they're related with legal, procurement, and so on. But I hear a lot of communication, I hear a lot of strategy, I hear a lot of stakeholder management, leadership, and building trust. So these are really a very important combination when we talk about a commercial project manager, right?
Yeah, and probably that is because within Siemens, the commercial project manager is really closely linked to the project manager. Project manager is in the end responsible for the project, but once he or she is not there, then the commercial project manager needs to be able to replace. And that's why I think that this skill set is important for CPMs within Siemens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we always, talk about, like in the companies, we have CEOs and CFOs. And in Siemens, we see the commercial project managers as the CFO of that project, who is also responsible with the profit and loss and also this customer relations, and that they are kind of duos and a team working towards the same goal, which you also mentioned. Can you a little bit tell us what is the most inspiring part of being in project business?
Yeah, to me, this is the journey and working as a team. And I think I have a nice example of this, which was, by the way, also a highlight in my career. A few years ago, I worked on the Cobra cable project, which was the first time for me being active on a more senior level. Project duration was several years. Intensive site works were there. Yeah, and at a certain moment, site works was in a stage that we were ready for final acceptance tests. And these tests were basically a 30 days trial period, and a customer could do what they want with the system, and testing would be successful in case there was zero downtime. But for the day after the trial period, there was a big opening event organized with internal and external VIPs. Also press was there, when in theory we could fail the test till the last day. Luckily all went well. Opening event was also successful. But yeah, at a certain moment, Siemens project team as well as customer project team sent away the VIPs, and we stayed for a dinner really to celebrate success. And yeah, you could feel that the stress was gone for everybody. And I think such a journey where you have difficult times, team is under pressure, always continues, and then in the end celebrate success. That is to me the inspiring part of.
And also celebrating that together with the customer as one team, right? So after press left, you said we were all there together with the customer and we were all relieved. So you are there like one team, and that is, I think that is the joyful moment.
That is very important, and having such a session or a dinner together is even of more value than doing this alone.
Yeah. Okay, so we've heard about the inspiring part. How about the challenging part? What is the most challenging part of being in project business?
I think the challenging part is pressure. Yeah, we will not always get what we want, and we have to cooperate with many stakeholders with all kinds of opinions and maybe different targets. And that means that Siemens is sometimes of the opinion that we have done much more than we should have done, while the interpretation of customer, or if it's the other way around, our suppliers, can be completely different. And then, negotiations will start. Yeah, that is an important part, of course, but it should in the end be settled in a fair way.
So expectation management, I hear, it's from different stakeholders, different expectations, how to kind of meet in a point where everyone has their win, and that they settle or they are happy at the end of the day. So finding that balance is a challenging job. I would also agree to that.
Yeah. But again, luckily, this is not a task for the CPM alone. We are there with a team, and project management absolutely has a role in this as well. Yeah, but in the end, you have to do it together.
Yeah, correct. What is the most fun part?
Ooh, this is a complex one.
You can take the time. Please don't say there is no fun in doing this.
No. Yeah, I think this is again cooperation. What I've seen over the years is that within Siemens we need each other. We need procurement for sending out procurement contracts. We need legal for their recommendation. We need our tax team to make sure we comply with all regulation, especially once it's abroad, because that makes it even extra complex. We need our engineering team, and I think it's really important to mention them because Siemens is in the end a technology company, and our engineers are maybe playing the most important role.
Correct.
Yeah, and the fun part is that as a commercial project manager in a finance role, you can really add value in an industrial environment for our customers within our project teams by connecting all the roles I just mentioned.
How this role fits your personality? So do you say, oh, this kind of person can be good in this role, or you can talk about yourself first. So how do you think your personality matches with this role, or vice versa? Sometimes the roles we are doing at business, they shape our personality at the end after 20 years. I don't know if this is the case for you, but how do you see this correlation, this relationship, let's say?
Since I was a young boy, I was playing football, and football is, I think, an excellent example of a team sport. That is something I can use in the role of CPM again. And what I did later on as well, I was also acting as a coach. For coaching, let's say the starters, the 6-year-old boys. And probably that is coming back now again in a new situation where I can act as a team lead. Yeah.
And what would be your position in a football game as a CPM?
Yeah, I was a defender, but I think I'm close to 40 now, so probably I would no longer be selected.
Okay, great. Maybe you can also talk about a little the international aspect of the role. How do you think about this? Do you enjoy being in this international environment, or do you think this role opens the door for this or give you opportunities on that?
No, I think the international character makes the CPM role extra interesting. And I probably have 2 examples of this. The first one is that the CPM continuously need to think about the business model. Are we allowed to do direct business? Should we do business via a permanent establishment or a certain cooperation with colleagues in the region? And that this brings extra complexities. And luckily we can rely here on the professional support of our tax colleagues, but the CPM is in the end the one who have to manage this. And secondly, what we see generically in our customer contracts is that we follow local currency. And that means that it's not always euro. And last year we have seen significant movements of currencies against each other.
Yeah, inflation.
And, but also
exchange
the
rates,
euro against Swedish krona or even further away. And it's a task for the CPM to align with our colleagues from corporate finance how we can execute currency management to mitigate the risk of influences of exchange rates.
Do you have a moment in your career where you will always remember? Something you never forget. So this could be someone who is influencing you. This could be a case, a project.
No, maybe a learning point for me. Several years ago, I joined celebration from a former colleague who retired. And during this party, she gave a speech and she guided us through her journey and explained us to be very proud of adapting or training herself from financial or administrative role in the time there were no laptops or computers yet till finally being able to use SAP as solution business. And yeah, the longer I think about this is pretty cool because that is really a significant change. And if I mirror this to the current situation where lots of captains of industries again talk about a world which is changing fast, then probably, I can use her mindset in adapting myself or making myself fit for future and use changes for advantages.
Yeah, talking about technology and changes. So I think we are a generation, I don't know to call us lucky or unlucky, but we have seen a lot and we have seen different ways of doing job, different technologies and so on. So we are not born into this, but we have to adapt, we have to learn. So how do you think that technology has an effect on your role as a CPM in the projects? We know that it's not only technology, it is also, we talk about business models, how we collaborate with the customers, how we do business. So a lot of things are changing. How do you think these are majorly affecting the CPM role?
First of all, we have within Siemens a so-called new working model. That means that we are working from home much more. General aim is a 50-50 model, and that means that the interaction between people is changing. More and more we communicate digitally already, but we also see this in communication between sites. From Netherlands, we manage sites around the globe, even up to Australia. So without the technology of today, that would really not be possible. But not only thinking about the situation of today, it's also interesting what will happen in 5 or 10 years. Because nowadays, especially the CPM still has a role in project bookings, for example, in SAP or whatever. And we don't know how that will be in future. Will that still be manual work or probably be done via a robot or artificial intelligence? I don't know. Yeah,
there's artificial intelligence and, chatbots, generative AI. So do you think that this is already in place or do you think that, we have some, but this will be more and more in the upcoming years? We're just at the beginning. So how do you see this?
I know the technical specialists are really on this. I think within finance we have a will to gain here. For example, in drafting offer letters, these kind of things. But I think it will move into that direction. But especially in the intermediate period, still checks are needed. So the controlling role will be relevant. But it's absolutely important that we have the mindset of my former colleague, that we adapt ourselves and have an openness to make use of these advantages.
Yeah, correct. So, my favorite question. What would you advise if you go back and visit yourself when you were at the beginning of your career? What would you tell?
15 years ago, I had a dream to finalize my thesis and go to Austria for 3 or 4 months, let's say a complete winter, and be a ski trainer or working in a bar or whatever.
Cool.
Unfortunately, the thesis took too much time, and at the moment it was accepted, the winter was gone and the snow as well, by the way. So that one did not happen. I've also seen in my earlier days of my career that you will not always get what you want. But on the other hand, with a flexible mindset, willingness always to continue, there will be new opportunities for everybody. By the way, I think this is applicable for business life as well as private life. So my recommendation to the younger Eelko would be try to avoid frustrations, also in case you don't get what you want, and it's much better to have a flexible mindset and a willingness to continue, because I think that makes you happy in private life as well as business.
Oh, that's a very cool answer, and that's a great way to complete our session. Thank you very much, Eelko. That was really interesting to talk to you. Thank you for sharing openly your experiences with us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening. I'm Derya İren. This podcast is a production of Siemens. If you would like to explore our world, please visit siemens.com.